That is North Korean's UN ambassador talking all things politics with our good friend Trey Harden. Trey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
We're doing good. So fill us in here. What's the conversation in Washington? Is everything all things North Korea, and how worried should we be?
Yeah, I think it is starting to really take over the all discussions in town because there are people, I think rightly so, genuinely concerned more than they have been in the past. You know, we've had a very kind of, they're using the term strategic patience, and I guess it's translated into people thinking, okay, well, we can push that issue off. It's not on the front burner right now, but it's something that certainly has been simmering over the years, particularly when you're talking about a president over there that has been almost confirmed by many that has some mental issues, mental health issues that certainly don't lend well to negotiations, diplomacy, and could lead ultimately to a war. There are people in this town that are genuinely concerned that we could find ourselves here in another Iraq situation. And what I mean by that is, you remember that one of the things that really drove us into Iraq were the Scud missiles that Hussein was launching into Tel Aviv and Israel. That starts to happen in North Korea. We're all in, and the big concern here is that if one of those missiles has a chemical weapon or a nuclear warhead on it, going into Seoul, obviously I'm talking about, then we're talking about significant devastation. But to your question, the real big issue is, what does the president do in terms of a preemptive strike, or does he just continue to wait this out? And I think that's the dilemma for him, and it's not an easy situation no matter who would be in the White House.
Yeah, you're right. There is no easy answer. If there was an easy answer, one of the last 3 or 4 presidents would have handled it. The reason why we're in this situation is because no option is a good option.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, it drives me nuts when I hear Democrats right now, and, Republicans have done it in the past with Democrat presidents, but it drives me nuts when Democrats are saying, oh, he's got no policy on North Korea. Well, it's impossible to have a policy. I mean, if you draw a red line or you have a policy, you're talking about potentially initiating a strike by the North Koreans on Seoul that could kill tens of thousands of people, many of them Americans, many of them American soldiers, because we have such a huge presence there. This is not a Syria situation, obviously. Syria can't defend itself essentially by attacking the U.S. or can't that's almost too easy of a situation and too easy of a decision after seeing chemical weapons, killing innocent children. That's just an easy decision, frankly. This one is not. It's got significant consequences. If there's a decision by, look what's already happening by Trump. This president doing what I think is the right thing by sending a fleet over there and starting to bolster up the anti-ballistic missile defense system with the THAAD. It's called the THAAD system that they've sent over there. That's what's needed to be done. But of course, North Korea is viewing it as, they're preparing for war. North Korea is going to continue to provoke the U.S. as much as possible. They don't have anything to lose. Obviously, what this really comes down to, and we just don't know how successful they'll be, is what is China's role? How successful are they talking kind of North Korea off the ledge? I think China sees that they may not benefit from either scenario.
So you've got Japan, you've got South Korea, and you have China. And I want to ask this question correctly, more of a statement or more of a philosophy, and that is, it's good to see Donald Trump growing up and having some legit, straight-up, real advisors advising him on this. But it's also good that he's a little bit of a wild card, in that you kind of don't know what he's going to do, but he's getting good advice. Does that make any sense?
It absolutely does, and it goes, and it goes to the ridiculousness of some of the the spin and the rhetoric you hear from the Democrats on this right now. I mean, saying, oh, he doesn't have a policy, he should be telling us what his plans are. He's exactly right. Why? I mean, you're putting soldiers in harm's way, frankly, when you are saying, well, if this happens, I'm going to do this, and in 3 weeks, I'm going to do that. It makes no sense, and I completely support and I think the majority of Americans do, him, handling it strategically the way he is and not showing his cards. Now, as for the people around him, let me tell you, Democrats and others can say whatever they want about the president. There's no question that he's acted unpresidential, and at times it's just you're scratching your head saying it's unnecessary. But I will tell you this. He has one of the best teams I think we've ever seen in history from a national security standpoint. These are smart people that are advising him, and most importantly, which is I think the big eye opener, but it's very, I think it's comforting, and it is that, as you said, he is listening to them. He knows that his is not his space. He's ultimately got to make the decision, but he knows that they know more than him, and he respects that, and he's not micromanaging that process.
Trey Harden, have a good week. Thanks for checking in.
You too.
626, Big 550, KTRS. Story in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch yesterday talking about how frenzied the real estate market here is in St. Louis. How there's the lack of homes. It's the least amount of homes in the market in 20, 30 years, some ridiculous number. It's for all sorts of reasons. With the economy getting better, people moving into the area, people afraid to sell their house because they can't buy a new house. New home starts off the last couple of years because of the economy. So as the economy gets better, less homes out there, which means you need somebody in there fighting for you more than ever. And that's, of course, where Kathy Helbig comes in. She has been in this space for